Good morning. My name is Hassan Camacho,
And I'm Amy Garcia.
and today we will be talking about motion sensing in music, a click-free music selection Android app. Basically our app that we created was a non-click application that senses your motion and it plays music accordingly.
So basically our purpose was to create this application and be able to compete maybe with another application that currently exists, like Pandora or Spotify, things that play music and are available to the public, basically to be a source of entertainment for anybody who really wanted it.
Our goals and guidelines was basically just to get the accelerometer, which is the main sensor of the phone, to sensor the motion. And what we wanted to do is measure the X, Y, and Z axes of the accelerometer, so it can censor whether if you're running, walking, or just relaxing, which is doing nothing, and play according music to whatever you're doing, so you can enjoy the music that you own.
So basically, along some of the guidelines that we had to use in order to create this were using what's called App Inventor. And App Inventor, we were able to use the sensor and be able to observe the different values of the accelerometer sensor to be able to manually program the application. So here we have the hardware and the software, and what we used App Inventor developed by MIT, and the phone that the faculty let us borrow, the HTC Sensation. And I'll let Gustavo explain it.
And this is just a main picture of our home screen in the computer. And this is the main page of App Inventor where we can open the blocks editor and then start programming and all that stuff.
And what you see there is the title screen of the application. So part of this is only part of our code. This is less than one screen, and there are multiple screens in the application. So each screen had to be treated as a separate procedure. So each one had something different, and each was treated as almost a mini application. And so what we had to do with the accelerometer sensor was to be able to read it through one set. The second screen of the application would give us numbers, and those numbers would be used to be able to create what's called a threshold. So every time the application would read your movement, it had to meet the numbers of the X, Y, and Z values. It had to meet those numbers to be able to change and call a different screen, whether it was running, walking, or relaxing. We had set it on a timer, so it would record these values every half second.
And that was only 1/5 of our programming code. So in conclusion, our main challenges was to get the program or the application into the phone, and unfortunately the server was not working, so as of now we do not have an application functioning on a phone. And another challenge was programming itself, because since we got here we had no idea how to program or what was programming. So I guess that was the main challenges, but Amy encountered other challenges.
The code itself was difficult to be able to program because there were different screens. So during the development, you weren't allowed. Basically, MIT won't change the screen for you. You can't switch the screens during the development, so you cannot test whether or not the application is successful 100% of the time. You could see, from what we observed, it was successful in the code that we programmed, but in order to switch screens, we couldn't package it on the front, so we were never able to test the full functionality. And I'll let Gustavo conclude.
So in the end, we figured out that our application did work because of the little message that it said, and it said it wasn't supported during development. So I mean, it meant that it did work, but obviously not packaged on the phone. And however, we learned a lot of programming, and we really enjoyed this experience. And we'd like to thank Ms. Miranda, first of all, for being in front of us and giving us advice. Kurt, Sarah, Matt, Ryan, Magnus, and Riley. And we do have one of those great, awesome videos for you guys.
So basically, even though we were able to test it on the phone, but it was never fully functional. So these things obviously you see are, they change every half second to be able to change to a screen like this. So I was simulating a walking, running motion. I slowed it down. And every time these screens would pop up, you would hear music. What we would call a mainstream, things you hear on the radio very often. So you hear we implemented a lot of contemporary music.
A lot of Call Me Maybe.
Whenever